So before the video, just a heads up, I have a really sore throat, so my voice might sound a little weird sometimes. Just a warning, hang in there. Thank you so much, let's go. Now you probably remember shows like Invader Zim, Doug, Cat Dog, and Rocket Power.
We are riders on a mission, action kids in play position, rocket power.
But over the years, there has been a long list of forgotten cartoons. Now a forgotten cartoon is a cartoon that you completely forgot existed. Like maybe you're browsing the internet and you see a photo of a character and think, whoa, I thought that was a dream or something. That would be a forgotten cartoon. And sometimes a cartoon is so bad that it's a good thing you forgot about it. And other times you get to rediscover a show you might have loved and for some reason or another, you just blocked it out over the years.
Good idea, Scoob. Let's boogie.
But without wasting any more time, let's just jump right into it. This is 5 forgotten cartoons. Rugrats Preschool Days was a spin-off of, well, you guessed it, the Rugrats. The pilot episode was technically in season 8 of the original Rugrats, and 6 years later they created a spin-off show that followed the same story of that episode, with Susie and Angelica being in preschool.
This stuff ought to work. It's real sticky. I know! Ow!
Now, confession time. Up until a few days ago, I've never actually seen an episode of the show. I have heard of it, but it looked so awful that I just really didn't want it to ruin the Rugrats for me, and it wasn't hard to avoid watching considering Nick had done such a good job at hiding it. But after watching just 2 episodes, I've concluded that this show was awful. The theme song was terrible, and the change in the art style is horrible. It's like they took everything that made the Rugrats good, and then this is what was left. So, if possible, avoid this show at all costs. Okay, let's move on. Angela Anaconda. Okay, so this one is interesting to say the least. The show originally began as a series of shorts on the sketch comedy series Kablam and was later developed into a standalone series in 1999.
And
Angela Anaconda.
Now, I haven't watched this show in a very, very long time, but I don't remember ever hating it. In fact, I remember really liking it. The show focused on the adventures of 8-year-old Angela and her 3 best friends, Johnny, Gordy, and Gina, Owen, the villain, and Nanette. So for the sake of this video, I rewatched a few episodes after 10 plus years, and I had really high hopes. And yeah, this show was terrifyingly bad. So let's start with the obvious. The characters were created using black and white photographs. Like, how weird is that? Look how terrible this is. Like, this looks like a cartoon you'd find on the dark web or something.
Here's Johnny.
It mainly consists of cutout animation, which was unique for this time period and could have been used as an advantage, but no, this ain't it. And the voices, do not get me started on the voices. These little squeaky voices.
My name is Angela. Hey, hello. Welcome to my very own show.
I had a hard time watching this show because of the awful art style, and I had a hard time listening to the show because of the awful voices. So yeah, this show is definitely on my list for one of the worst Nickelodeon shows ever, and I do not know how I or anyone else ever enjoyed this. 0 out of 10, I do not recommend. Alright, moving on. Edgar and Ellen. Okay, this show did not get enough credit because it is amazing. Kinda reminds me of the Addams Family, like if Wednesday and Pugsley had their own show. So Edgar and Ellen originally started as a book series and later became a series of animated shorts on Nicktoons Network back in 2006. There were 13 2-minute shorts in total, with 6 holiday specials also airing. The shorts did so well that they were picked up for their own weekly show in October of 2007. That show only ran for 1 season, but boy was it a good one. The show followed 12-year-old twins Edgar and Ellen, who would play pranks and cause a ton of mayhem around their town, but the thing that really pulled me in was the art style. So I saw a comment that said, "This show reminds me of Tim Burton mixed with Dr. Seuss," and I think that describes the art style perfectly. I was a kid who really enjoyed the weird movies like The Nightmare Before Christmas and my all-time favorite Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
So just imagine my excitement when I stumbled upon this show. I'm currently rewatching the entire series, and honestly, I'm still really enjoying it. So if you've never seen Edgar and Ellen, or even if it's just been a while, I recommend that you go give it another go because it's a really fun watch. Alright, moving on. So I mentioned that Beetlejuice was my all-time favorite movie, but did you know it also had an animated cartoon series? In 1989, a year after the Beetlejuice movie was released, they decided to capitalize on the success with an animated show. A strange choice considering Beetlejuice was a huge creep in the movie, but ultimately it did really pay off.
We want to kiss you guys. Come on. No, give me one. Come on.
The show ran from 1989 until 1991, with the animated series being almost nothing like the movie. Different city, different character personalities. We didn't have Adam or Barbara, or really anyone besides Lydia and Beetlejuice. Oh, and the small head guy. The show followed a likable Beetlejuice and his best friend Lydia Dietz as they explore the netherworld, a supernatural realm inhabited by monsters, zombies, ghosts, and goblins. Episodes generally center around Beetlejuice pulling pranks and conning people from the netherworld to the real world, a fictional New England town named Peaceful Pines. Like the movie, Lydia can summon Beetlejuice from the netherworld by saying his name 3 times.
Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
She can also travel there herself, which she does very often to either stop or save Beetlejuice from the monsters and zombies he's conned. Personally, I really enjoy this show, so much in fact that I have this tattoo on my arm. So needless to say, I'm a fan. I think they made the right choice by changing up basically everything from the movie and making it its own thing. The likable, wacky Beetlejuice is great, and the more upbeat Lydia is awesome, and the storylines and jokes are actually funny.
I know. I'll watch a little TV.
Oh, and the fact that Tim Burton is the executive producer is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm sure this would not be what it was if they didn't actually have the director of the movie helping with the animated series. I think it goes without saying that I recommend you give this show a watch if you haven't, because it really holds up. Alright, moving on. And last but certainly not least, Braceface. Braceface follows a 14-year-old Sharon Spitz going through everyday life with her and her 2 best friends, Maria and Connor. The show aired from 2001 until 2003, with 3 seasons being made. So what makes this show interesting was the fact that as Sharon was getting her braces, a lightning storm happens and her braces get struck, which in return she kinda gets superpowers? Kinda? She has these strange abilities such as she can remotely operate machinery, tap into wireless communication channels, and even discharge electricity directly into whatever is in front of her. It's like a dollar store static shock. Although much of these abilities are often outside of her control, most of the show is Sharon finding herself dealing with mysterious and embarrassing mishaps caused by her braces. Okay, now I have to critique the theme song a little bit. It is kinda awful. It feels way too long and stretched out, and everything but the chorus just sounds like annoying noise. All we really needed was like the chorus Braceface a couple of times, and that would have been great in my opinion. Okay, but now we have to talk about this episode that I stumbled upon because it is awful. What the F? This episode is titled Busted. I swear to God I'm not making that up. And it's entirely about a 14-year-old's breast. I can make an entire video on this episode, but I'm just gonna break it down for you really quickly. Sharon sees other girls getting treated better because of the size of their breast, so she buys a bra that can pump air into her breast to make them bigger.
Discreet, electrical pump remote, instant response.
With this, guys start giving her a lot of attention, and it literally just has scenes of just men staring at her chest. Once this creepy scene happens with a guy she just met, things start to go haywire, and the bra keeps pumping air and growing larger and larger until they pop. This is one of the strangest episodes of a child's show that I have ever seen in my life. Anyway, other than this episode, I think this is a pretty solid show. Even if it happens in strange ways, the show normally gives really good life advice. And if you've never seen this show, I recommend giving it a shot. And with all that being said, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and make sure you hit that like button, and until next time, peace out.